All right, let's go.
Hey man,
Hey, what's up, Nick?
how are you?
Good. How are you, man?
Good.
Cool, man. Well, got you on.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a while since we've been going back and forth, but I mean, how's your vacation?
it's good. Yeah, it was good. It's
Okay,
sunny weather, so it was good.
nice. Where'd you go to?
We went on a cruise down to Western Caribbean.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, if you're ready, I can go ahead and kick us off here.
Yeah. Show me what you got.
Awesome. All right, cool. So, first of all, I just kind of wanted to set the tone really quick. I know that I'm gonna be very transparent with you because just like we spoke on the phone, I feel like you're a very transparent guy yourself. So, you're kind of like what you got for me or what are you trying to sell me or whatever. But
Hmm.
really, I just kind of wanted to know a little bit more about your business and whether I can help or not. Because
Yeah.
if I can help, I'll go ahead and explain what it is that I got going on and how it can help you guys potentially. And then at the end of the call, you can just kind of decide whether you want to be a part of it or not. Either way, I can still make it a valuable call for you because I'll help answer any questions you may have as far as your paid advertisement goes or what's working for my clients right now. But really, I just kind of want to be very open with you. At the end of the call, I don't want to, do any pressure tactics or whatever. If it's not a perfect fit, it's not a perfect fit. And if it is, great. I'm happy to move forward. Sound good?
Yeah. Sure.
Cool. So, I mean, tell me a little bit about your business. Like, how'd you guys get started? When did you get started?
So you're talking about Envy Repair, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know
So
you mentioned you got two other businesses, right?
yeah, so Envy Repair is basically it's an offshoot of our property management company, which is basically our main business.
Okay.
So we have a maintenance department in our property management company, and because we've got maintenance techs that are in trucks and can do small construction projects, we also have a GC license that we advertise under a handyman business. So we'll take retail clients that want stuff done anywhere from changing out a light um, fixture to finishing a basement, doing a house remodel, things like that. So um, yeah, that's basically we've been offering those services to retail clients for just I think just over 2 years.
Okay.
So our sweet spot is anything from 1 hour to 3 days is kind of our sweet spot.
Okay.
Um, because we do a lot of stuff that a GC just won't touch. They're just like, dude, I'm not starting my truck for that.
Yeah.
And we have guys equipped in vans running all over the Wasatch Front, doing this stuff already. And so some people are willing to pay, to have, those small projects done at their house versus doing it themselves. So whether they don't know how or they just don't have the time or whatever the case may be.
Gotcha. Okay. So then you guys have been at it for about 2 years, or is that just how long you've been offering that service?
That's how long we've been offering that service to retail clients. Our
Got-
property management business has been in play for about 7 years.
Okay.
I think actually this may be year 8. I can't remember.
Okay. Nice. So, what kind of brought you, like, what got you open to hopping on a call with me like this?
Just you called and said that you know, you're able to source leads. So I'm just curious as to what you've got.
Gotcha. So, I guess like my question is like, what kind of help were you looking for exactly? I mean, were you just kind of looking to fill in some holes or just get new work in the door or
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of at this point where I'm trying to decide whether I want to grow this piece of the business and spin it off into its own business.
hmm,
So right now it's just, it's an offshoot of what we currently have, but there's definitely demand for it.
yeah,
The challenge is um, getting the qualified labor to perform the work. So I'm just kind of at this point where I'm trying to decide whether I just want to keep it where it's at, and keep doing our maintenance and maybe taking on some retail stuff to supplement what we already have going on, or whether I want to actually spin it off and grow it into its own beast.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So were you kind of looking for some help as far as getting new residential work in the door?
I mean, potentially. I mean, we've got, you know, what we do is basically online advertising.
Mhm.
Google ads and things like that. That's how we get between that and just like referral sources, just people we know or people we've done work for in the past. That's where we get our business. We don't use Yelp. We don't use any of those
Right.
crappy services.
I don't blame you.
Um, so yeah, I mean that's where we get our work. So I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
So if,
it ebbs and flows, right? Like sometimes we're so slammed we don't know what to do, and other times we're like, oh yeah, we could use a few more projects.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, because if you guys were definitely looking to fill in some holes in the door, or I mean on the calendar, or get some new work in the door as far as residential work, then I'm definitely your guy, and I can definitely come in and bring some more in, not just Google ads, but other sources as well. And that's kind of why I asked, like, if that's what you guys are looking for, because that's definitely what I can bring to the table. And
So what type of residential work do you go after, or what type of residential work are you getting?
so we're getting a lot. So I know I mentioned that we can get painting in for you, but really it matters on what you guys want to push. So if you guys just want to push like the painting service, or if you just want to push other type of service, you let me know, and then we can go ahead and push that. As far as for my painters, we're getting a lot of interiors. Like I had this lady have a 5 bedroom and then a theater room, like just interior work like that. Some are cabinets as
Yeah,
well. But there's certain guys that prefer different types of work. Like I got a guy that just likes cabinets, and just because he's in and out, and then he can get a ton of them done within the week.
yeah,
So, like I said, once I kind of get to know what the client wants, we kind of work around their needs and then push that service more, because that's
yeah,
obviously kind of more what they're wanting.
yeah. I mean, we kind of are. I mean, the best way to describe it is we're kind of jack of all trades. So we're and pricing wise, we're expensive.
Mhm.
So compared to like if I quote just a painting job up against a guy that all he does is paint, he'll outprice me every time.
Yeah.
So we really specialize in stuff um that kind of requires more than just so you got one of two scenarios, right? Like you either
Mhm.
have really small jobs that people are like, I just don't have the skill set to do it, or I don't have the time to do it, and I just need somebody here for an hour or two to get it done.
Yeah.
That kind of falls in our wheelhouse because we're set up to do that kind of stuff. The second piece is they've got a project, but it's too small for a GC. So they either have to go and find a plumber, an electrician, and a painter, right, on their own, or they hire somebody like us, which we can do all of that stuff. But because it's such a smaller project, and a GC won't touch it, we charge a little bit more for it, right? Because we're going to charge a lot less than a GC, but we're going to charge more than if they went and sourced the painter and the electrician and the plumber themselves.
Yeah.
Again, they have to have the expertise to make sure whoever they're sourcing knows what the crap they're doing.
Yeah.
But if we're going up against, if somebody's like, I just need painting done, price wise, the painter they'll beat us every time. Where we kind of, I guess, shine is we show up when we say we're going to show up, and we do what we say we're going to do. Like this isn't, Paul out of the back of his truck that may have been drunk the night before or strung out on heroin, and he may or may not show up, and you have to call him 50 times. That's not us. Like we make it super easy for people to do business with us.
Totally.
Once we provide them a quote, they pay us a deposit. They're on our schedule. We do everything we can to make it that day. If not, we communicate, hey, a job has got pushed or weather or whatever. We communicate, but basically we show up when we say we're going to show up and do what we're going to say we're going to do, and therefore that costs money. It's going to cost more than Paul that was drunk the night before in the back of his truck,
Totally.
because it's a legitimate company. Everything's branded. So like when we show up, it's us. We stand behind our work, things like that. So that's the reason I bring that up is price wise, we're more expensive than I wouldn't say we're the most expensive in town, but we're definitely in the upper half of expensive.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, you've been at it for about like 7 years, right?
On the
So,
property management piece, yeah. So I mean, yeah, we know what we're doing. So yeah.
I mean, as far as experience and all, it's been quite a
Oh well, I mean, if you took me alone, like I've had probably just myself, I've probably had 10 to 15 years of construction experience.
gotcha.
But our company itself has been around for 7 years.
Gotcha. So where are you guys kind of at in your business as far as like the team size and how much jobs are you guys fulfilling a month?
Uh,
I mean, I
the
know it depends on the job, right? But
Yeah, the number of jobs, I mean, that's hard to do because, when you take in anything from landscaping to snow removal to, an electrical problem, we're probably, I mean, I could pull a report, but I mean, my guess is, so we got three full-time technicians and a maintenance supervisor,
okay.
not including some specialty subs that we use, like an HVAC guy or an electrician if it's above our pay scale, things like
Mhm.
that. We're doing anywhere from 2 to 3 jobs a day to 9 or 10 jobs a day, just depending on the size. So it's tough to say, dude.
Yeah, no,
I
totally.
can pull a report, but
No, it's all good. Well, I mean, how much are you guys doing in revenue every month? I mean, maybe that's easier to say.
just on the maintenance side, we're probably anywhere from 15 to 25,000, depending on the month,
Okay,
in gross revenues.
gotcha. So I know you mentioned you're really trying to grow the company. You mentioned you're trying to grow the company or just kind of keep it at where it is.
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of in this. I'm trying to decide what we want to do. I'm trying to decide if we really want to grow it.
Mhm.
Um, because obviously that takes a lot of capital. Growth chews up cash flow.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I mean the kind of the constraint right now is just the labor pool,
Mhm.
finding legitimate guys that can actually do the work.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, that's kind of what it revolves around when you're really growing at a massive scale. But how much are you guys wanting to grow to?
I don't have that answer for you because I don't know. I don't know. I mean, on the maintenance side of things, I don't know. Right now, I'm willing to grow as much as I need to feed our property management business.
Mhm.
Um, and that's a whole nother animal. But just on the maintenance side of things, I don't have an answer for you because I don't know if we want to spin it off to its own beast yet.
Gotcha. So is the labor thing the only thing stopping you guys from like making that jump with growth?
Um, I mean, that's one of the bigger issues. The other thing is just it takes a lot of capital to grow because
Mhm.
we're set up differently than other companies. I mean,
Totally.
every guy I have is in his own vehicle, right? So it's not just I don't throw 5 guys on the job site. Most 80% of the work we do is a one-man job,
Mhm.
and I'll double triple guys up where needed. But so every guy that I have is, it's not just hiring a guy, but it's hiring a guy and it's outfitting him with uniforms and putting him in one of our vehicles and making sure that vehicle's branded properly. And so it's expensive. Our business model is expensive to bring on help.
Yeah.
So we're just super strategic about how fast we grow.
Gotcha.
It just
Okay.
chews up a lot of capital, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys are running like a ton of Google ads, I'm sure right now, right? Are you guys doing anything besides Google ads right now?
No, I mean not
Just Google
nothing
ads.
on nothing on a consistent basis. No.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And is it just you running the ads or do you have an in-house team or
No, we have a marketing company out of California
okay.
that I've been with actually from the get-go that runs all that stuff for us.
Gotcha. Okay. So if you're open to, I can show you kind of like my process and how we're able to get, homeowners interested in the service. It definitely sounds like you're a fit. I'm a fit, hopefully showing you this, but I can go ahead and show you the process of everything we go through just to get these homeowners in the door and then show you how they're qualified. Because really, if I just gave you a whole bunch of like a list of leads, like 50% of them, maybe even 60% of them wouldn't be qualified. That's why we weed those out before they even get to you. And
Okay.
so if you'd like, I can go ahead and
So
show you
how,
the process.
so you get these qualified leads, how many guys are you selling them to?
No, I only sell them to one person because in that area, it's only exclusive work to that person that I partner up with. And in
Okay.
this case, it'd be you if you'd wanted to move forward with it. I've done my market research on Angie's Home Advisor, Thumbtack. I know how they work and I know why they make such a profit. But then at the end of the day, as you and I both know, it's just a horrible client experience. And
Yeah.
so that's why they end up having a bad reputation, from people that are like, I was like the sixth contractor that showed up for the job. And, I'm just competing with a red ocean here. And I mean, at the end of the day, no one's happy. But that,
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, that's part of the problem with those is those are very price sensitive clients that like they're just it's a race to the bottom.
oh,
For
definitely.
us, and you kind of kind of think about this from your marketing piece, dude. We're about quality.
Yeah.
So if the leads that are coming through are more concerned about price than they're concerned about quality, like we're just not a good fit. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, just straight up, we're not going to be a good fit for
Yeah.
them. If they're more concerned about, hey, I just want the job done and I want it done right,
Yeah.
um, then that's something that we would be a better fit for.
Oh, definitely. Which is why at the end of the day, um, it's all based off the targeting, as you may already kind of have an idea of like the type of targets that you can do with like Google Ads, which is the keywords, right? Or
Mhm.
um, Facebook advertising, which is like the demographic, right? You
Sure.
can target like the annual income of the person, right?
Yeah.
So obviously it's the wording too. And if we're targeting people that, I mean, are just kind of not making the best annual income, it's always going to be a price competition,
But
which it really depends on the client too. Like if someone's just telling me, hey, I just want as much work in the door as you can get. Well, obviously, it's not going to be nothing but people making six figures a year because that's more qualified work
right.
over volume. And so if they're just like, I just want work right now, I'm empty, then obviously we're not just going to target those people. But you telling me I want more qualified people, it may be a little bit less, but it's going to be more qualified the people that come in because they're not too worried about price. Really, it's just a worry about, is the job going to get done right? Because I don't want to pay another contractor to come and fix it. So,
Right.
but I'll go ahead and share my screen here and show you.
Okay.
All right. So really, this is the process that everyone kind of uses here. They'll go ahead and start with the ad right here, and they'll have an offer, and then they'll kind of take them to a landing page and then a thank you page. They set an appointment and then the sale, right? This is kind of the process that every marketing agency
Yeah,
uses.
it's a classic funnel, right?
Exactly, right. Classic funnel that everyone puts people through. I'm not going to say it's been worn out, but it still works. Don't get me wrong. But there's other things that I've kind of found that work a little bit better as far as qualifying the person. If you put them a little bit through more of a process rather than just a simple process like this, then you kind of get the people that are a little bit more qualified. So this is the basic funnel. I'm sure you already seen it before. This is kind of what we do. So start with an ad, strong offer, and then this is where the work comes in. So we start doing the appointment setting, and this helps a lot with filtering out the people that are just tire kickers because obviously if they just ghost us, I mean, we're not going to be chasing them around because they weren't qualified in the first place. So we do a little bit of follow up ourselves, about 3 days of follow up consistently. And if they're really not getting back to us with 3 days, then we'll do a week after that. And if they don't after a week, then we just let them go. Right. We get it. People are busy and stuff, but we kind of want them to be serious for us as well. So after the appointment setting, going back and forth a little bit, we schedule them on your calendar. We connect your calendar to our software, and basically we are able to see what times you got available, right? For you to come in and then kind of meet with them in person, which is the estimate or whatever you're doing on your end. And then basically the deal would be up to you at that point. So, I mean, I'm not going to come in and close a deal for you, but it's your company. So you'd be closing the deal.
Mhm.
This is kind of what we found to work better than just the typical funnel that everyone uses. And don't get me wrong, we started with this too, and it worked well. But we found that clients were getting more unqualified leads than ever. And here we're able to come in and say, okay, we're going to basically act on your behalf and filter out the people that we don't think are a fit. Because at the end of the day, we want to get you the qualified people in front of you. So we can just alley oop that person to you and then you just close the deal there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we basically walk them through an automation, which is, we'll first have them fill out a Facebook lead form. And in this case, the offer right here for this client, this is what the ad looks like. The offer for this client was 15% off. They just wanted high volume, right? So we were like, okay, we'll put an offer up and then we'll just get as many people in the door, obviously filtering out the people that aren't qualified. And we put them through this Facebook lead form right here. We ask them, how soon were you looking to start your project? They fill this out. They kind of go through it a little bit more, enter your contact info to claim the discount voucher to your name. And then they go to this page right here and we give them a little bit of urgency and then they can call us, right? Most people won't call. So as soon as they fill out that form, it's triggered right here to go to an automation. So we wait 12 minutes, we drop them a voicemail, and then we kind of put them through this little sequence that it saves us a lot of time. And then if they go through this, we know that it's time to call them up. So
Sure.
we kind of text them, right? Wait 6 more seconds. We text them again saying, what were you looking to get painted? And then if they don't answer, then we'll go ahead and put them through a little bit more of a follow-up sequence here, right? So we'll go ahead and follow up a little bit, right? If they replied this, if they didn't reply, then go through this. So here, like some of the conversations right here, like this is Rachel right here, dropped her voicemail. And then she was a hot lead that just came in. She was like, are you available to give a quote today at 4:30? Said we weren't available, but then we got on the phone here. And then we kind of went back and forth a little bit, but once they send their address right here, once they send their address, that's how we know they're actually serious. So we got her scheduled in, and there's a few more over here as well. Basically, I'll be managing all the conversations on your behalf, and then that's where we kind of filter out the people that aren't serious, just to save you guys some time.
Sure.
Not having to do that yourselves because we know that's a pain for most people, especially with
So,
Angies, right?
so our clients, are they aware that you're basically a marketing firm helping? Because two things, like I don't ever want clients to feel like a bait switch type scenario. You know what I mean? So let's say you're initiating the call or whatever, and initiating the conversation, and then we show up. I just don't ever want people to feel like they've got bait and switched. So
Okay.
did they know that kind of up front?
So no one really asks. I mean, no one
Okay.
really asks if I'm a marketing company or they just we're just the client and I are very well in communication. So I'll just basically text them like the information of the person. They'll call them up to confirm like a day before if we're actually gonna be able to show up and you're gonna be there. And I mean, they haven't really asked, but I mean, if that's a request that you'd want me to make clear, I can go ahead and
No,
do.
I mean, if people have run into scenarios in which, they're feeling like they were bait and switched, I think that's kind of the main concern. The other thing is, so one thing that we've done to kind of weed out tire kickers is we charge for estimates, or we charge for on-site consultation. We call it an on-site assessment.
Gotcha.
We can provide, I would say 80% of our work can be done through pictures and description. Hey, this is what I need done. And I can provide them an estimate free of charge. When it requires us to actually go on site and take measurements and look at actually what's happening, we've charged people an on-site assessment simply to weed out tire kickers, right?
And it works.
And then, if they hire us to do the work, they're credited that on-site assessment fee on their final invoice.
Gotcha.
Have you guys ever implemented anything like that for your clients?
Well, I'll be completely honest with you. Most clients don't want to. They don't want to because they just, I don't know, they have a certain funky feeling about it. I think it's a really great idea to bring in really qualified leads because, I mean, obviously, the more you pay attention, like we've all heard, right?
Yeah.
And how much do you guys charge for onsite?
Dude, it's only $100. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's just enough for people to be like, sure, or no. And I mean, to be quite frank with you, so I'm looking back on some of the people that have paid us. So for example, there was one last year, they paid me to come do an on-site assessment.
Yeah.
It's like a $60,000 job, dude. And then they didn't hire me to do it, but it took me, by the time I went out there and met with them and then line item the entire estimate, I mean, I was in that thing probably 4 or 5 hours. So it's not like, it's not a money, it doesn't make us money. On the bare bones minimum,
definitely it doesn't at all.
If I do an on-site assessment, bare bones minimum, by the time I drive out there, meet them, come back, do an estimate, I'm in an hour and a half bare bones minimum, probably 2 hours.
Yeah,
on average.
It's
So
funny you say that. It doesn't make you money at all because it really doesn't. I know that for a fact too because my brother has a catering company, and so obviously I did the advertising for him, and just bringing him a bunch of what they do is they do like a food tasting, right? And from that food tasting, that's like the sales situation. So we started doing them for free, right? And I mean, we were losing money at that point. But then we started charging $97, basically $100, and people weren't like wanting to give that away. We did $49, and people were a little bit more open to it. We got a lot of people in the door, but really, he's not making nothing off those $49. That basically pays for the food that he's going to give them at food tasting. So, but what it really does a good job with is getting qualified people in the door because 8, 9 people out of 10 that paid and did the food tasting bought from us. And so it was so much easier, less of a headache to have to follow up, chase people around.
Well, and so that kind of brings up one of the reasons that we do it is like, I mean, we're spread pretty thin, right? So to go and chase 10, 12 appointments,
yeah,
I don't have time for it. You know what I mean? I don't have time. I hired a maintenance supervisor, so I've got a little bit more bandwidth, but I mean so we just want to be strategic about how we would do it. Like I don't have, if it's one of those deals, you're like, hey, dude, I can load your calendar with 3 appointments a day. I'm gonna be frank with you, dude. I don't have time to do that. Like I just don't.
Totally.
So yeah, I mean, we would be way more interested in quality versus quantity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'd really appreciate that more, honestly, just because it's a better result at the end of the day. Yeah. And it takes a little bit more strategy, obviously, but I know that it's more of it'll be a higher client retention, obviously, at least on my end, because I know that it's just going to be people that are serious, obviously, if they're paying. So it's going to help avoid a lot of low quality traffic as much as possible. But as far as my end, like I told you, there's no shared leads. I know that's something Home Advisor and Angie's does.
Yeah.
You're kind of sharing the same leads with like 6 other contractors, bugging the same homeowner. At the end of the day, my goal is to obviously get you guys busier than you already are, obviously, because I'm pretty performance based. I know that if you're not making $1 off of me, there's no reason to keep me around. And I'm pretty aware of that. And I'll probably be the first to tell you. But like I told you, it's all exclusive work. It's a lot more direct than using a company like Home Advisor or Angie's List. Like I told you over the phone, I'm not this huge international company, me being very transparent with you, but it's a lot more personal than if you're calling up a call center who knows where they're at. And if you guys have already done amazing work You got good pictures, good videos. That's really like pouring gas into the fire. Kind of
Yeah, we need to honestly, we need to do better about documenting it, to be, if I'm being really honest with you. Um, but I mean, we've got a fairly good reputation online. Not, I mean, it's yeah, I mean, it's fair, it's okay, it's pretty good. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
But
definitely. But I mean, feel free to be open with me, man. Like, what questions do you have for me at this point? Showing you what I've showed you and what we talked about.
so so um I've spent a lot of time in the Facebook marketing piece of things, which looks like that's what you're doing, right? Is your marketing through Facebook.
Yeah, it's
Um,
very dominant where we've seen results.
yeah. So I understand the mechanics behind that.
Hmm.
Um, and it was in a different industry. It wasn't even in this industry, right?
Okay.
So I understand the mechanics, but uh, um, of kind of how that functions and how that works and things of that nature. So I haven't ever tried it in this industry, so I don't know kind of the results of it. The marketing company that we have got a good relationship with. They don't deal in Facebook ads. Like that's like they don't deal in these funnels and things like that. They basically maintain the website and build some pretty good Google ads.
Yep.
And they focus just on handyman. Like in fact, their company's name is Handyman Marketing Pros or something like that. So
Okay.
they just focus on the handyman business. So I would have to figure out how these would kind of correlate. And I spend quite a bit of money with those guys. So from a budgeting standpoint, I would want to figure out, does it make sense? Number one. And then number two, let's say I hired you today from your perspective, because I know as much as we want marketing to like implement it today and it works tomorrow, like I understand that just there has to be a little bit of ramp up time. There has to be a runway to kind of fine tune the ads and things of that nature. So
Exactly.
from your perspective, let's say we hired you today, how much runway are you asking for to be like, hey, give me a legitimate shot? Um, what type of runway does that look like on your end?
Really, it depends on obviously the budget that we're going to be putting in to the ads. If you haven't advertised at all on Facebook,
Yeah,
then
which we haven't, not for
okay.
this business.
All right, then it is going to, and me being very honest with you, it is going to take longer than someone who has. And
Give
that's
me give
pretty
me a
obvious.
time frame, a rough time frame.
I'd say to see some very solid results coming in already, I'd say a little bit over a month.
Okay.
And from my marketing standpoint, like for example, with my brother's catering company, right? Him and I both knew that it was going to take a while because he's never even posted anything on Facebook. He didn't even have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
So I told him, look, it's going to take a while, but we might as well get started on it now than later on procrastinating on it and later on being like, all right, let's get this done. And then it's going to take even longer at that point. So if we have an ad account that we use for people that, I mean, old school guys that don't know anything about Facebook, they don't even have a Facebook page. We got a Facebook page set up already. That's kind of gathered enough data for Facebook to be like, all right, this is the audience that fits perfect for this company. It's already gathered enough information, so it already
Yeah,
knows
I mean,
where our audience is.
yeah, we've got Facebook pages, but I don't think that I'd be surprised if Facebook was able to gather enough data from it to determine like, oh, here's your audience.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, yeah, I would be surprised, to be honest with you. So
Definitely. And so we can go ahead and start with just a little bit at a time. I mean, we're not going to right ahead if we were to just put an offer in front of someone and then ask for money up front right away. I mean, we honestly wouldn't get the best results. I'll tell you that right now because you don't have an audience of people that are like, okay, I've seen their ads before. I've seen them pop up a few times. So really what we want to do, look, I'll go ahead and share my screen here one more time and just kind of show you what we do for people kind of like in your situation. So this is another strategy that we have here. And really it's like a good retargeting strategy. So for someone who's never been in your position, never really
yeah,
promoted ads, We start with the promo ad here. It's basically like a promotional video. You're not asking for anything up front. Obviously, this is to a cold audience. They don't
Right.
know anything about you, but this is a good way to get the ball rolling a little bit. So after that, we then put an offer in front of them. And on Facebook, as you may already know, you can retarget people who watched either 25% or 50% of that initial video.
Right.
So now we kind of got a warm audience going here, and they've seen you, once, maybe twice. And now for those people that took you up on that offer, great. They go through the funnel that I showed you here. But for those people that were just like, okay, that's a cool video, but they keep scrolling on Facebook, then we retarget them one more time with some testimonial ads. It can be Google reviews that you have or any type of testimonial just to show them social proof. And now they're kind of a little bit of a hot audience here because now we can put some urgency in front of them. And now we'll kind of make them make a decision if they're really in that position too. So then that's when we kind of go again to the estimate, set an appointment, and then the sale. And this is more of a strategy for someone who literally has nothing, no data on Facebook, nothing.
Yeah.
So I feel like this would work really well for you just to get the ball rolling a little bit and start now rather than later.
Okay.
And like I said, you're welcome to take this and kind of test it yourself if you'd like. I'm pretty open person. I don't gatekeep anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'd love to kind of show you a little bit of how it would work for you guys because you guys are already a well-established company. And the more established a company is, the better it works, to my belief.
Yeah. So, I mean, just I need to chew on it. I'm open to it. Like it makes enough sense to me.
Yeah.
I'd want to know one, what type of okay, first one, how are you guys getting paid? Two, what type of budget we would need to commit to make, it effective. And then three, what would be the kind of the commitment from our end versus the commitment from your end. So for example, we've got Facebook pages and Instagram pages, but like nobody's monitoring those. In fact, we had an assistant that she used to post stuff, but we let her go last fall, and I don't think there's been a post since then, to be honest with you.
Okay.
We replaced her, and she was just really good at social media. So that was one of the things that we had her do. And who we replaced her with, that's not their forte. So we just haven't had them do anything with it. I'm actually. Yeah. Well, we've got a review company that's been making posts, but before that, December 25th was the last post. So.
Okay. So, I'll tell you. So with the Facebook page, that's good that you guys have one. It doesn't really matter as much as far as the paid advertisement side, because I mean, you can make the post look pretty and everything, but at the end of the day, we're trying to get an ROI in the door.
Yeah.
Or ROAS, which is a return on ad spend. And so I'd say that, I mean, I wouldn't think it'd be best effective for me to come in and like manage your page and like schedule all these posts and stuff. Believe me, I've done that. I used to work for a marketing agency where I was just scheduling posts and I was their social media manager. But that was more brand awareness than anything.
Sure.
Right. So as far as my field, I'd say the paid advertisement side, we can definitely get something working there. And then basically just roll the ball because I'm going to be honest with you, we're not going to see much come in the first, second week. That's why I made it very clear that it's going to take a little bit over a month. But once we see that result coming in, it's going to be really relief that we finally see a result after that time we put in. Because now Facebook knows who are the qualified people that you want, because Facebook knows that you're going to keep paying them if you're seeing good results. So it does its best to give you the best result. But I can go over pricing if you'd like, kind of give you that, and then you can go ahead and chew on it, like you said. But the Zoom call is going to end in like less than a minute, so I can go ahead and resend that link if you'd like.
So I'm kind of under time constraints. I don't know if you want to email me some stuff to let me chew on, or Or what the best. So I'm just being straight honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm open to it,
Yeah.
but again, like I need to kind of think about it, kind of think about the direction we want to go and